All right, everybody. 2 minutes till the race start here in Bahrain for the 2024 Bahrain GP.
All right, we are live, everybody. We are live. So hopefully, Formation Lap will be starting soon and stuff. And so I'm your assistant commentator here, Lucas McKenzie. I'm live streaming here on TikTok, and the main commentator here is Tomas Darula, who's live streaming on YouTube. So hello to everybody on YouTube, and hello everybody on TikTok. So hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And yeah.
And here we have Max Verstappen on pole today with Leclerc P2. Russell is P3. Sainz P4. Perez is P5. Alonso P6. Norris is 7th. Piastri is 8th. McLaren starting a little bit farther back than the fans were hoping. But Hamilton is 9th. Hulkenberg 10th. Tsunoda 11th. 12th is Stroll. 13th is Albon. 14th is Ricardo, 15th Magnussen, 16th Bottas, 17th Zhou, 18th is Sargent, and the two Alpines starting at the back with Ocon in 19th and Gasly in 20th. And
Here everybody goes down into the formation lap here. So down into turn one, just warming up the tires a little bit, going a little bit slow to not overstress the car, hopefully. So it's pretty good. So to everybody joining the live right now, we are just currently in the formation lap. Everybody's warming up their tires. For some reason, you can't see that on the track map right now, but that should be fixed once the actual race starts. So, hopefully they can get their tires warm enough here, and I don't know, Max Verstappen could very well take this race, so, but hopefully not.
it's going to be interesting to see Leclerc and Verstappen fight here for the lead because in 2022, it went down to the wire, and Ferrari has pace on this track, so we'll have to see what will happen this year. As the drivers now around the final turn and are now heading down the main straight.
Here everybody goes trying to get their optimal parking spot here. They're going very slow to make sure they can not get disqualified for bad parking or anything, so hopefully they can get some good parking and get a good jump off the line. To Mario9 in the chat, the race has not started yet, but as you can see on the mini-map, they're all lining up on the grid right here, because now the mini-map is confirmed working, so we're watching them line up on the grid here, and the light should be going on anytime now. So the mini-map is slightly ahead here. Verstappen in the lead here. I can't really see that on my screen here, though, but for us, the lights are going out now. But
And we have 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go in 2024. Verstappen in the lead. Good start by Verstappen, and looks like Leclerc still P2. A lot of action happening, and Leclerc around the outside of Verstappen, but Verstappen keeps the lead. Into turn 2 we go. Down. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact in the back. Aston Martin is spun round. And here we go into turn 4.
Again, I'm apologizing about the mini-map here. It is way ahead. They're almost finishing their first lap, but not sure how that is working. Hulkenberg saying here on the team radio that he has front wing damage. That is not good for Hulkenberg. He may have to box.
And so it's Verstappen, Leclerc, followed by Russell, Perez, Sainz, and Alonso, and then the 2 McLarens, Norris, Piastri, and 9th and 10th is Hamilton and Tsunoda. And DRS has been enabled.
Looks like my mini-map is frozen here, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what is wrong. What is wrong with that here? You can still see the leaderboard though, but oh, looks like my leaderboard's frozen as well. Oh no, never mind. Everything's back up for you guys. Hulkenberg in the pits. Hulkenberg is now in the pits, so that is not going to be good for him. So I don't know.
Changing the front wing on the Haas. And wow, that was a long pit stop. Mechanic could not get it on. And yeah, the map is still frozen here for me. And so Verstappen is in the lead by 1.3 seconds to Leclerc, who's in P2.
So you can see a lot of overtakes happening in the back of the grid here on the leaderboard, but that's pretty much it. There's not really much action except for Russell now being in P2, which overtook Leclerc.
And it's noted between Stroll and Hulkenberg in turn 1 on the first lap, the contact. So we'll see what the stewards think of that. And my leaderboard is back up.
My leaderboard is yet again frozen.
Oh, and a little bit of a lockup there from the Ferrari of Leclerc.
And Verstappen gets the fastest lap here at a 1:36 and 92, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Russell has passed Leclerc for P2, so now it's Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Norris, Alonso has passed Piastri for 7th, so Piastri 8th, Alonso 7th, Hamilton 9th, Tsunoda 10th.
Battle for second is going on right now between Russell, Leclerc, and Perez, which is actually really good because as we all remember last season, Red Bull was just absolutely dominating, so it wasn't as good.
And yeah, Russell um, is 2.3 seconds behind Verstappen. And we're going to see what happens as Leclerc is going to have the DRS on the next straight.
Getting a live race start replay right now from the live stream to all of you watching on like an actual live stream instead of just this track map here, but I understand that some of you may not be able to do that.
And yeah, Stroll got hit from behind and got spun around into turn 1 on the first lap, and that's why Hulkenberg boxed.
So we're watching Hulkenberg live on board, or not live replay on board, but let's see here how he got his front wing knocked off. Oh, and he hit Stroll, or I think that is Stroll, yes, which is just not a very good crash.
So it's Verstappen, Russell, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Norris, Piastri, Alonso, Hamilton, and Tsunoda. That's your top 10. Verstappen 4 seconds ahead of Stroll in P2. And Leclerc is 5 tenths behind Russell in P3.
Looks like Piastri here has won back his position on Alonso, which is very good.
And Leclerc will have DRS down this straight. And Leclerc complaining about track limits for Russell.
Yet again, in another season, we have Verstappen in P1, which is just amazing. I mean, it's good for him, but I know we all want to see some cool battles, but I'm not so sure that could be happening this season unless we get some good upgrade packages on some new cars.
And yeah, so far, McLaren looks like they don't have the best pace, but that could just be because Ferrari and Red Bull and Mercedes are ahead of them.
We also have heard that Lando Norris is running a brand new energy store, which could be the reason that it is not reliable and maybe could be affecting their pace.
So we still have Verstappen, followed by Russell and Leclerc for your top 3.
Norris is apparently going plan B on his strategy, so not quite sure what that means, but we will probably find out soon enough.
And Russell having very good pace today as he's keeping Leclerc behind. But Verstappen's pulling away rapidly as the gap is now 5.6. And Verstappen already has 7/10 faster of a lap time than George Russell in P2. So
I don't know, maybe Lewis Hamilton saw this brand new car and decided that he did not want to be with this new car and decided to go to Ferrari, as we all know that he's going to Ferrari in 2025.
and Perez has passed Leclerc for P3 with the help of DRS.
Not bad, but he still has a huge gap to catch for Russell to get P2. So maybe we could see a Red Bull 1-2 finish, but not sure yet at this point in the race.
Yeah, it's still very early in the race, and Leclerc holding behind Perez. Two McLarens are still 6th and 7th. And now the two Ferraris could be having a little battle.
Looks like Leclerc is going strategy plan A, but we aren't sure what that is at this moment in time. But as we saw before the race started, they were predicting that people would start on softs and box around lap 16. So we'll get to see on that around that lap of what's going to happen.
Verstappen already 7 seconds ahead of P2.
Oh, looks like Stroll and Bottas just boxed, I'm pretty sure. Or, sorry, Zhu and Stroll boxed.
And a move from Hamilton on Alonso for P8. And Hamilton takes P8 away from Alonso. Oh, and there's a yellow flag, a Williams, off the track. It's
Logan Sargent off the track in Sector 1. Parked right near the marshals, unsure of what happened there.
And it looks like turn 4.
Looks like he's going to reverse. Oh. He has a little bit of team radio here. Unable to hear that, though. I apologize.
And I don't know what it is, but it's in turn 4. Sargent off the track.
Ocon now boxing as well.
And looks like Sargent up and running again. I wonder if he locked up or something and went straight on.
I doubt that. He was parked there for so long. I have a feeling it was an engine stall or something.
Oh, and here we go. The two Ferraris clashing in turn 1. Down the inside goes Carlos Sainz on Charles Leclerc. Sorry. And into turn 4 we go. Sainz has the DRS, which will allow him to pull away, and it's Carlos Sainz leading Charles Leclerc.
Guess he wanted a bit of revenge there. He's losing his seat, so fair.
And Perez trying to catch Russell, and he is gaining on him. Now the gap is 0.5. And it looks like,
from what I'm seeing here, it looks like Perez has already made the move on Russell. And where is Russell? Oh, looks like Russell has boxed. Russell has boxed.
and yeah, Russell in the pits. So Perez P2, Sainz P3, and also Leclerc has boxed as well. So the two McLarens are 4th and 5th now, and Russell and Leclerc boxing.
Looks like Russell had about a 24.2 second amount of time in the pits. Not a actual pit stop, because that would be a little bit too long, but that's how long he spent at the pit lane.
And a little bit of a battle there between the Sauber and Russell.
A lot of the drivers opting for the hard compound tire here so they can get as much life as possible here. So they undercut the grid by using softs and going to hards to undercut the grid yet again later.
Oh, and looks like the Sauber of Bottas has a little bit of front wing damage. The right end plate dangling off a little bit, and I think that was because little contact at the end of the straight leading up to turn 4. And now Perez is boxing as well. And Piastri also has boxed. Hamilton also in the pits.
And Hamilton is getting right out of the pits right now, so that's good for him. Not too bad of a stop time, and it'll be looking good. Norris in P3, but has not boxed yet. Not boxed.
And for anybody tuning in now, the track map is quite ahead of what we are seeing on the broadcast. So sorry if everything is not perfectly in line.
Norris has just been called to the pits, and since it's ahead, he is now exiting the pits, so that's very cool.
And Russell passes Daniel Ricciardo for 7th, and Norris in the pits. And a very good stop by the McLaren crew.
Yeah, well, in Qatar, they had a very fast pit stop of 1.8 seconds. Sainz been called to the pits, probably already boxed here. Actually, not yet. Not
And
sure.
out of the pit lane, we have Russell still ahead of Perez. And here goes Perez around the outside of turn 4, not able to make the move. And the switchback! What a move! Perez is now alongside Russell and ahead of Russell. So Perez P6 and makes the undercut happen. So what a move by Perez. And so it's Perez P6 with Leclerc and then Norris. And it looks like on the track map it's frozen, but it looks like Russell could be ahead of Perez again.
Here on my leaderboard, Perez is P4 and Russell P5, so it looks like he's made another move to get up the positions. Alonso is now P2, but we are unsure if he is boxed, and it looks like he is not boxed yet.
And Perez undercut on Sainz and Leclerc undercut on Sainz. So Sainz back behind his teammate. So that is going to hurt him.
Leclerc is complaining about a few lockups, I'm pretty sure, here, so that could cost him a few positions, but he looks like he's up 2 positions currently.
And Hamilton, a little bit of a struggle there, as he's saying on the team radio. He has no battery, so no ERS.
Looks like your sergeant has just been lapped.
And
I think the sergeant has been lapped.
Alonso boxing now. So it's Verstappen and then Perez, a 1-2 for both of them, but Verstappen yet to box. And George Russell P3, Leclerc 4th, and Sainz is 5th. 2 McLarens are still 6th and 7th, Norris being in 6th, Piastri in 7th. and looks like the two Ferraris chasing down Russell in P3.
Looks like Leclerc just made a move on Sainz for P4.
Oh, and the Ferraris clashing. Almost a little bit of contact there. And Sainz had to back out there. And Carlos Sainz, and let's see what it's going to be into turn 1. Oh, and he goes late on the brakes. Carlos Sainz makes the move into turn 1 on his teammates. And
Verstappen has been called to the pits here. So where is he going to come out on? But I'm not sure because he has a 30-second lead, so he will probably still come out P1.
yeah, and Carlos Sainz made a move on Charles Leclerc now. So it's Verstappen, Perez, Russell, Sainz, Leclerc. And let's see if Sainz could go for Russell, because he does have more pace than his teammate, so we weren't able to see his full pace here. And that move.
And Verstappen now entering the pit lane here, and he's just about to get the hard compound tires on, and they are now on. Oh, and a little bit of a 2.9 stop, so slightly slower than usual, but not at the end of the world. When Perez rounds the corner, can Verstappen come out ahead? Yes, he can, very easily.
And Leclerc complaining that under braking, his car is swerving to the right. And Carlos Sainz, fastest lap, 135.5. And here we go. Carlos Sainz into turn 4 around the outside. Good move by Carlos Sainz, who moves up into P3, podium position. And now it's Carlos Sainz in 3rd, Russell in 4th. And Leclerc is still in 5th.
So it looks like my leaderboard's frozen here. I'm going to get it to refresh for you guys here. Hopefully it works. Oh, and it is a bad gateway. Give me 1 second here, guys. 1 second here. So unfortunately, my leaderboard has gone bad on me. I'm not sure what is wrong with that. Give me 1 second.
And so Verstappen P1, Perez P2, Sainz still P3. That was a beautiful move by him. And he's got 3 seconds to gain on Perez. So we'll see what happens. And a lot of drivers getting track limit warnings with Tsunoda, Leclerc, and Norris.
The leaderboard is now back, guys. I can confirm the leaderboard is now back. Sorry about that issue earlier, but now we should be okay. This could be extremely interesting race here as Verstappen, they're showing his onboard here, could be trying to push as there is only a 6-second gap between him and Perez and then 2 seconds between Perez and Sainz, so that could actually be really cool.
And anybody viewing here on YouTube, make sure you check out at Headset Hijack on TikTok.
I also appreciate all the viewers in here, a total of 44 people in here. Thank you very much. And I hope you guys enjoy this race here, but sorry for all the technical issues that have been happening so far throughout this race, but hopefully it'll be good for the rest of the race.
And Verstappen really pulling away now. Gap is 7.2 to his teammate. And it doesn't quite look like Sainz is catching Perez, with the gap being 2.4 now.
Yeah, with the crazy pace of these Red Bulls, it's going to be extremely hard for anybody to compete this season unless we can get some crazy upgrade packages going throughout around mid-season. That would be a very good sweet spot to get everybody going and overtaking. And a new fastest lap for Verstappen at 1:35.160, so not too bad.
And we're on lap 21 of 57 here in Bahrain. And Leclerc is trying to catch Russell for fourth. And he is slightly gaining.
Alright guys, I'm going to start a poll here. Do a laughing face if you think Verstappen is going to win, or a crying emoji if you think Perez is going to win. So I'm going to start the poll right now. Alright, the poll is now started, so get your answers here in the chat. Yeah, Priyanka, I think we are. I said your name right, but yeah, I think we all know that Verstappen will probably win this race. And it looks like that poll was tied at 1-1. Wow.
You know, Perez, he's now 8.5 seconds to Verstappen. Verstappen P1, Perez P2, obviously. And Sainz is kind of holding pace with Perez now. Can't really catch. And also, same with Leclerc. He is holding pace with Russell.
Yeah, Perez is probably going to be hopefully trying to get some P2s and P1s this season as his contract expires at the end of 2024, but he has not yet renewed it, so he's going to be looking to find some pace here so he can stay on one of the fastest teams in Formula 1 at this time.
And yeah, Sargent, don't know what happened with him, but he's 50 seconds behind P19, which is quite interesting.
Looks like Perez complaining about the volume of the team radio. He says he needs to shout, so that could be an issue with the team radio, which is not too good for Perez.
And yeah, that front wing end plate is still dangling on the car of Bottas. And we'll see if he'll get warned for that. Looks okay, though, so far.
Priyanka in the chat seems to think that Perez will get replaced for 2025, but I'm unsure of who would take his place. Who would you guys like to see in a Red Bull seat?
Oh, and both of the Mercedes have been told to lift and coast into the turns. So we're going to see what happens with them.
Maybe the Mercedes have opted for a lower fuel load to increase pace, but that could be harming them because they don't have enough fuel to finish the race.
And yeah, talks of underfueling the cars and hoping for safety cars. And yeah, now we can see if Leclerc can catch Russell for P4 because Russell is coasting.
Priyanka says her delusional self says Ricardo will probably replace, what's his name, Perez at Red Bull. And Ricardo, I think, could make a very good match. As he has stated many times before that his end goal is to retire while being at Red Bull.
Yeah, but 2018 was a big season between those two drivers in the Red Bull, and it would be fun to watch that again. And yeah. Hey, it might happen.
You never know with this game of F1, and especially these contracts. All the time, it's crazy moves, including, Hamilton to Ferrari, one of the craziest moves that we saw on February 1st. Everybody was raving about that for a little while, and everybody still is.
Yeah, and apparently Leclerc has a little bit of issue with his brakes locking up a lot, right? So, I don't know. Maybe Norris could pass him for P5. We'll see what happens.
It's like Albon trying to push the pressure on Magnussen here with the DRS, which could be a crazy move for him.
And not much action happening so far in the race.
I'm looking at the helmet cam here. The new Williams steering wheel with an actual screen around this time. Looks like, people are saying this time around it looks like a little bit of a Dorito, which is funny.
And I definitely see where they get that from. And, I prefer the old Williams wheel. I wish they kept that, but I guess it's safer if they have the screen on the wheel.
I just wanted to thank you all again for joining this live stream. We've had a total of 763 unique viewers, and we are currently sitting at around 33 viewers watching right now, so thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying this race, because actually pretty interesting behind Verstappen, of course, but it's pretty interesting.
Oh, and you can see on the wheel of Alex Albon, it's saying car too hot. Maybe some overheating issues for Albon.
And I'm fairly sure that Albon's contract may be expiring at the end of the season as well, but I'm not too sure. If he does, he could probably get a very good seat, as he is a very fast driver, but in a quite slow car.
And yeah, Sargent in P20 now, a full minute behind everybody.
As
And
you can see here, Sargent is in P20. Looks like he could be getting lapped quite a few times, so who knows?
yeah, Verstappen is 13 seconds ahead of Perez in P2, and then we have Sainz followed by Russell and Leclerc, and Norris still P6, Piastri 7th. Hamilton is in 8th ahead of Alonso now, so we could see what happens there. Zhou in P10, maybe a point for the team. We'll see at the end of the race.
So Priyanka says she's excited to go see our first live F1 race in Montreal this year because her boyfriend is racing for Porsche Carrera. That's actually really cool.
That is
So
very cool. Good for you. And yeah, I went in 2022, and I'll tell you, it is amazing. It is very cool. Doesn't even feel like a sporting event. It feels like a party. So hope you enjoy that.
yeah, and good luck to your boyfriend in the Porsche Carrera. Yeah, no problem. So we are now 49 minutes into the stream, which means that there's probably about an hour and 10 minutes left in this race.
So we're on lap 30 out of 57, and Mercedes went a little bit deep into one of the turns, showing a replay. Obviously, you guys can't see that.
Yeah.
And Verstappen, yeah, still leading by 14 seconds.
Oh, and Stroll in the pit lane here, so looks just like it's going to be a decent stop time. Let's see here. That is a stop time of 2.8 seconds, so not too bad.
And yeah, Perez 2.2 seconds ahead of Sainz, who's in P3. And
Charles looks like he is getting his race. His race engineer just said that the tire life is longer than expected, which could lead Leclerc to overcut the grid instead of undercutting.
And we have Zhou in the pit lane. The bright green Sauber. And here he goes in the pit lane.
Zhou with a 2.7, so keeps like every pit stop we keep seeing gets like 0.1 second faster. It's crazy. Verstappen's hard tires are currently around 11 laps old, so it looks like he has overcut since the rest of the grid is around 14 to 17 laps old on hard tires because the entire grid is on hard tires. And thank you for all the viewers piling up in here. We have a total of 86 viewers in here, 95. And here we go. So that's a lot of people here watching, and I appreciate all of you, and I hope you guys are enjoying the race. And I'm sorry again, my track map is frozen, so that should come back within a few seconds. If you guys can just be patient for that, then I'd appreciate that. And Sargent currently coming out of the pits here, so he's going to be even more behind than he was before.
So, Sargent.
Sargent currently 1 minute 30 behind, which could very easily allow Verstappen to lap him within a few more minutes, which is not going to be good for Sargent.
And I'm not seeing Sargent on the track map. But here, so the pit window between lap 33 and 43 for these hards.
Oh, and thank you for the rose, Priyanka. I really appreciate that.
And looks like my trap map is frozen again. Sorry for that.
So let me just get the full lineup here since something interesting is currently happening. So we have Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, who is, I think, boxing currently, and then Norris has just overtaken Russell because of his because of him boxing. And then it's Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, Alonso, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Albon, Ricardo, Gasly, Zhu, Stroll, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Bottas, and Sargent.
And Sargent has been lapped.
Oh, Bottas with the slow stop. His tire is smoking. He's been in the pit lane for 60 seconds now. That is not looking good for Bottas. He is in P19 currently. It is not looking good for him. He may have to retire. And Bottas, a stop time of 52.4 seconds. That is a long stop by Bottas, but it should be okay because he's back out on the track now, but it's going to take him a while to gain back his positions.
And he's just been lapped by Russell in the pit lane.
So it looks like the current drivers we have lapped are Ocon, Bottas, and Sargent.
So we have the 2 Red Bulls in the lead, followed by the 2 Ferraris, and then the 2 McLarens in 5th and 6th. So Verstappen still dominating out in front.
And a reminder, guys, every race weekend I will be live streaming all these races. So if you guys don't want to miss one, then make sure to drop a follow, and then you'll be able to get notified when I go live next time.
And Sainz having much more pace than his teammate. So Sainz P3. And he is 3.3 seconds behind Perez in P2. And here goes Stroll passing Zhou into turn 1, and Stroll's going to have DRS pulling away from Zhou into turn 4. And now we have Stroll in P13. So Norris is boxing, it looks like.
Yep, Norris in the pits in P5.
And Hamilton has also boxed, so it's going to be Russell now in P6 with Piastri in P5.
So only a few people have done their 2 stops right now, so some people still will have to box for the second time this race, including people like Tsunoda, Albon, Ricardo, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, and Piastri.
And Piastri is going in the pits now.
Here comes Leclerc into the pits, and they do the stop. And luckily no mess-ups and stuff, so that is a good amount of stop time for Leclerc, and Piastri coming in right behind him.
So Norris has passed his teammate. And here we go with Norris covering off Hamilton into turn 1, and a little bit of a slide there, and now Hamilton has passed Norris. Or sorry, that was Piastri. So Hamilton now passed Piastri. So now we're on lap 36 of 57 in this race. And we have Carlos Sainz boxing.
And Sainz now coming out of the pit lane with a 2.2 stop time, which is actually quite fast compared to all the other ones that have happened earlier. So that's not too bad.
And so Sainz is still P3 with Russell P4 and Alonso P5. And here goes Leclerc on Alonso into P1, into turn 1, and he moves up into 5th with Norris setting fastest lap 134.4.
Again, apologies for the track map freezing again. So that should be fixed in a few minutes because it just happens during the race usually.
And so yeah, Norris fastest lap with a 134.476, and he is on the hards. And Lando Norris trying to get past Alonso, and he's going to have the DRS going into turn 8. And great move past Alonso there, and he moves up into 6th. And Leclerc now has the fastest lap with a 134. Oh, and we're going to have Carlos Sainz right behind Perez now, because Checo has boxed.
And here we go with Sergio Perez. Looks like Charles Leclerc is right, or that's Carlos Sainz behind him. That's my bad. So he's right behind him, and Albon looks like he's boxing as well. So Perez is going to have to attempt to defend against Sainz because catching Verstappen is just not viable.
Yeah, Verstappen 41 seconds ahead, but he's going to have to box again for... actually, he's boxing right now, Verstappen.
And Verstappen, interesting choice going on to the soft compound tire with a 2.2 second stop time.
So yeah, it's a brand new set of softs, as they used most of, or if not most of, all of their hards in the practice sessions. And yeah, Sergio Perez just rounding the final corner now, and Verstappen already going into turn 4. So, massive gaps between the two drivers.
Brady Emerson in chat says the season is over, guys. RB won. I'm assuming you're referring to Red Bull and not the Racing Bulls. Yeah, it seems like they will probably win this championship. But it's only the first race, so we don't know how many more upgrade packages other teams could get to boost them up the grid. And as I can see here, Daniel Ricciardo is sporting a Red Bull helmet with like a Red Bull design on it, and I did not think that would be happening this year, but I guess since they're making the change to Racing Bulls, they're really trying to become exactly like Red Bull. So just to reiterate, guys, so the track map sometimes freezes, the leaderboard sometimes freezes, and so this is my main commentator here, Tomas Darula, and I am the assistant commentator, Lucas. So.
Yeah, Verstappen, purple sector 1 here, because he's on the soft, so he's definitely going to be getting fastest lap.
Verstappen is going to be looking for every opportunity to get points just so he can, but he really doesn't need that extra point, but he will do almost anything just to get an extra point.
So we're now on lap 39 of 57. And there goes Hamilton on Alonso, making the move for 7th into turn 1. And now going down the straight to turn 4. And yep, there's Verstappen with the fastest lap, 132.6. And Perez still P2, Sainz is still P3.
And almost at 2,000 unique viewers in the stream, and I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys are enjoying the stream.
And Leclerc versus Russell, you know, that's a little bit of action there. Could be moving into the end of the race, determining who's going to finish 4th, who's going to finish 5th, because Leclerc holding a solid 1.2 seconds behind Russell. So we're going to see what happens. And Sonoda getting past Hulkenberg.
And just to reiterate, the current lineup is Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Russell, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton, Piastri, Alonso, Stroll, Zhou, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon, Gasly, Bottas, and Sargent.
And Sainz is still holding relatively similar pace to Perez. And Leclerc looks like he's gaining a little bit on Russell. Gap is now down to a second, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, George Russell is trying to defend from Charles Leclerc, who is now 9 tenths within uh, Russell. So we'll see if he can get into the DRS. And it looks like Fernando Alonso is going to be boxing.
So he's in P9, not too bad finish for Alonso, if he can finish like this, because Aston Martin, we all know, wants all the points. Well, everybody wants the points in this game, but Aston Martin could be a good contender this season, but we're not so sure yet.
And so Leclerc is now 7 tenths within Russell. So he is catching. 15 laps to go here. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Russell and Leclerc now for P4. And he does have the DRS, Leclerc.
So we only got about 15 more laps, I'm pretty sure, here to the end of the race, which will be very interesting. Last 15 laps, not for P1 or anything, but it'll be interesting. And there is Toto Wolff. He looks like a little bit distressed about all of this Bahrain GP, but it should be okay.
And yeah, Leclerc is now 6 tenths now. And the DRS doing wonders.
I have a feeling this season Sainz could be an extremely good contender, as last season he was the only non-Red Bull driver to win a race, which is just amazing. It's very crazy to be one of the only non-Red Bull drivers to win.
Man, that's crazy to think that basically only Red Bull drivers won last year. Shows Red Bull's dominance. And yeah, battle for fourth. It's going to come down to the wire.
And Sainz, you're asking on the team radio when they expect the softs to be slower than the hard tires because due to wear, but they Ferrari with their typical "we are checking" response.
And yeah, the temperature's a bit high. Track temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. And so we're on lap 45 of 57. We're going to see what's going to happen with Leclerc and Russell.
Leclerc getting super close to Russell, but Russell seems like he could be holding Charles Leclerc off enough to the point where he may not have DRS, but we are still unsure.
And yeah, Russell charging his battery. Red lights flashing on the back of his car. And Leclerc is getting closer, and the gap being 3/10.
Going quite fast here, around 320 kilometers into the first turn. As here they go, and Charles Leclerc gets really close there, but he's still keeping the pressure on without getting an overtake just yet, where a 5-10 gap is currently present, so he may have DRS. The gap are around 4/10 of a second now into this next few turns here.
Oh, and Russell locks up and goes wide, and Leclerc has passed him, but they're side by side into turn 8. Leclerc has indeed passed him for 4th. Big pressure on Russell there as he locks up in, I believe, turn 7, which is a very, very difficult braking zone.
For any new viewers in here, just wanted to reiterate that again, the track map is slightly ahead of what we are looking at on our screens here. So, sorry again about that. But I hope you guys are still enjoying this thing. So.
And Russell will have DRS into turn 4.
I appreciate the follow, guys, and if any else of you guys want to see these races throughout the season, then make sure to follow me because I'm streaming every single race for the season this year. So I hope you guys enjoy.
So we have 10 laps to go. Lap 47 out of 57.
And just to reiterate, the next what's it called? The next race is on a Saturday, so the qualifying will be on a Friday, which I will be unable to stream. But the ones on Sunday, the race days on Saturdays, I should be able to stream the qualifying for you guys, so that will be pretty good.
So the positions are Verstappen first, Perez 18 seconds behind him in second, Sainz is third, Leclerc is fourth, Russell fifth, Norris is sixth, Hamilton is seventh, Piastri is eighth, Alonso ninth, Stroll 10th. So some points for Aston Martin. And we have Zhou in 11th, Magnussen 12th, Tsunoda is 13th, and 14th is Ricciardo, 15th is Albon, 16th is Ocon, 17th Hulkenberg, 18th is Gasly, 19th Bottas, and then last is Sargent, who has been lapped twice, and he did have some technical issues at the start, so not looking good for him.
I'm going to let the main commentator take over this as I have to go to the bathroom, so I will be back in 2 to 3 minutes.
And yeah, Verstappen dominating during this race again. That new 2024 Red Bull looks very intimidating. The side pods, like the shoulders on the back of the car. And looks like it is working because they do have strong pace. And Norris is complaining a lot about the car, but he does have strong pace. He's doing a great job trying to defend against Hamilton, who is 4 seconds behind him. And Piastri is P8, so McLaren, pretty solid points, but could be better. And Verstappen still with the fastest lap of a 1:34.4. And he is currently on the softs with 12 lap old softs. And same thing with Perez. Perez is 13 laps old on the softs. And Verstappen now lapping Alex Albon. And Yuki Tsunoda is chasing Magnussen here. So you could see maybe a little battle for 12th.
So the assistant commentator is now back. Hello everybody, I'm back. So looks like what do we got here? So Verstappen still P1 and Perez P2, P3 Sainz, P4 Leclerc, and P5 Russell.
And yeah, the Alpines are really struggling as they qualified 19th and 20th in qualifying, and now they're P17 and 18. So
Looks like
Lando,
Lando could be fighting to get George Russell's position from him, as they have a 2-second gap, but that could be gained over the course of the next few laps. We are on lap 52 out of 57, so only 6 more laps to go.
and striking distance is within 2 laps for those two drivers. So hey, we could see if Norris could get P5 in this race. That would be very cool. And the two racing bulls are trying to catch Magnussen for 12, as a little bit of a three-way battle.
And Tsunoda is a little bit mad because the team radio has just called for Yuki to let Ricardo through.
And yeah, typical Yuki fashion as he's screaming at his race engineers again.
And hello to all the new people in the stream, including somebody named Definitely Not Jalia. When you said hi in the chat, thank you. And just to reiterate, guys, I will be streaming every single weekend all of these races. So if you guys could follow, then that'd be greatly appreciated, and you'd also get to know what's it called, like what's happening in each race. And we also have driver of the day vote going on. So if you go to f1.com/vote, you can vote today. And Sainz looks like he's currently leading with 31% of the votes.
And yeah, Sainz very fast pace in this race, so he's doing a great job. And we have Leclerc behind him. So the two Ferraris are going to get good points. And so we're on lap 54 of 57.
It looks like Max Verstappen's dad is there, and Jos Verstappen, right at the Red Bull pit wall, so that's cool. So there's only 4 laps to go, so that will determine the race winner, which will most likely be Verstappen, as it would be decently hard for a different person other than a Red Bull driver, which could be Sainz, to gain about 20 or 40 seconds to Verstappen in 4 laps, which would be a little bit hard to do. So.
And now you can see almost half of the grid being lapped by Verstappen, Magnussen in P12 being the last driver to be lapped.
Yeah, I have a feeling everybody except the people that are in the points will be lapped, as Zhu Guanyu in 11th is 93 seconds behind the leader, so that's around 1 minute 1 minute 33 seconds, and the faster laps are around 133, 134, so he probably will get lapped, most likely.
And there goes Verstappen on Zhou, being lapped. And yeah, Lando Norris really catching George Russell. Gap is 1.6 now. And that's going to be interesting to see with 3 laps to go.
And Sonoda complaining about how Ricardo is not going too fast and he needs to speed up to his race engineer. Only 2 laps to go here, so looks like it's going to be another win for Verstappen, which is not the outcome I don't think we all wanted, except for some of you Verstappen fans, but I was hoping to see a little bit of a change up in drivers, but I guess not. And now everybody that is not in, that is behind P10, which is Stroll, has been lapped on the grid. So only people in the points have not been lapped, and it looks like Stroll could actually maybe possibly be lapped by Verstappen, which would be very funny.
And yeah, Ricardo could be getting past Magnussen and Zhou if he really pushes. And now he's not going down the inside. It looked like he was going down the inside in turn 8.
All right, Verstappen now starting his final lap of the race, while everybody else is still in their second to final lap of the race. Well, some people.
And yeah, final chances for Daniel Ricciardo to try to get past Magnussen and Zhou for the extra placements. And Norris also pushing like crazy to catch up to George Russell, but gap is 1.3. I don't know if it'll happen.
Just looking on the live track map here, it looks like Verstappen almost done the race with Stroll in front of him. Yep, I can see it here. Is that him? I cannot see.
And yeah, Verstappen now rounding the final turn. And there he goes down the main straight. Max Verstappen, he is going to be winning.
Max Verstappen is your 2024 Bahrain GP winner and probably your 2024 world champion. So, unless he spins out right here and is unable to recover his car, then it's most likely going to be a win. Oh, wait, yeah, I think he's already won. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah, there goes Verstappen, and he's won the race. Verstappen is your race winner here. Perez in P2, Sainz P3, Leclerc P4, Russell P5, and Norris wasn't able to catch Russell at the end. Then we have Hamilton.
Unfortunate. So.
Then we have Hamilton and Piastri for P7 and 8. Alonso is P9, and Stroll P10. Those are your points.
And then everybody else has been lapped, so unfortunate. But thank you guys all for watching, and yeah, I hope you guys can follow and come back for the next live stream. So thank you, and I appreciate it. And I will see you all for the next race next weekend, which is Saudi Arabia on next Saturday. Goodbye.